I mean, why do I like to do that often? It's normal, by the way. Whether silly or serious, I am still going to share tips that I think are going to be beneficial to you. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Forson, and yes, it's been a while, but thank you for being patient with me. In today's video, I am going to start my series called My Entrepreneurial Journey, also going to be on the Crucial Convos playlist on my channel, so you guys can keep up. Life is not just only about work, bro. Life is more than just the workspace. That's what I'm trying to say. And entrepreneurship is more than just the workspace. The people you're trying to help, they're humans just like you and me. So let's just find a way to make it whole. Let's just start. So you know how people say pick a niche that people are already aware of? Makes a lot of sense, because your customers are already market ready. They're already there. They're available. They want you. Although there may be other people in that niche, right? At least you definitely provide something that's different. That's what you should be focusing on, like trying to add extra value or different value to your customers, right? I started out in a niche in my country that is rarely heard of, and that made things a bit difficult. So I would say that if you are looking to just do business or entrepreneurship just for the sake of making money, enter a niche that people already know of. But if you are into something that you believe nobody has offers that service, and therefore you can monopolize this service or this product, just be aware that you'd have to put an extra effort to attract your ideal customer. Because I am in a niche that isn't so popular, or where I am working, I found it difficult to obtain a ready market. I found that I had to put in extra effort to explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I entered this space to have to change people's minds to understand what they need, or to let them know what they need. Okay, they have a need, but they are not aware of that. That was my job, and that can be not very frustrating, but extra effort, like I said before. My next point is that you should have a schedule. Now, if you're running your own business or being an entrepreneur, you most likely don't have anybody out there telling you what to do at what time. You know, it's your own business, you run things. It's not like in secondary school where we had a bell, or we had a deadline for our assignments. You are coming out of that structured environment into a more dynamic setting, right? Because you're now freshly starting out, trying to understand your market space, trying to understand your customers, trying to understand the product you yourself are offering. So it can be very easy to drift off and become indisciplined. And so I would say you should have a schedule in place, so detailed as to the time you're waking up, the time you're bathing, how much time you're spending on your personal development, how much time you're spending on, developing others, the people who will be working for you, how much time they're going to put into actually making the product, how much time they're going to put into communicating with partners, or communicating or reaching out to people, about your business. All of that, you need to set a time. If you can, what works for me is I set days for certain activities. So I have days that I go pick up textile waste. There are days that I clean up the textile waste. There are days that I have to just research. There are days that I have to talk to other people. I do that in a particular order so that I know that things aren't messed up. Trying to keep a structure. You kind of do need a structure. I am the person who loves to do things on impulse. So it was very difficult for me to accept it that I needed a structure. But when I started feeling overwhelmed and thinking I was way in over my head, it just hit me that I need to have a schedule. And ever since I've started doing that, and it's still a work in progress, because I'm still getting in tune with, a schedule or a timetable. I don't like those things, but I need it. So it's all a process, but make sure you have one, so that you can keep your stuff organized, so that you can deliver, so that you can stay consistent. In your business, consistency is key, and you need a schedule to stay consistent. I don't know how much more I need to stress that, but I think that's just enough. The third point would be to have set procedures for operations in your business. Now, why do you need to have set procedures? Starting out, you probably feel like there are so many things you have to do at once. But before you step out there and actually tell people about your business, I would advise that you sit down and think about the operations you need in your business to make it run efficiently and the procedures in each operation, so that it's much easier for you when you are onboarding people, when you're explaining your job to people, when you're explaining your employees' roles to them, so that there's no mix-up in the organizational structure itself, right? It just, once again, keeps you organized and keeps you looking more professional. The reason I know this and I am so serious about this is because I had the privilege of working in other companies that were more or less starting out, and I got to see the things that were really distracting the flow. And one of them was that they didn't have set SOPs for their businesses. Even I myself, when I started, people reach out to me, oh, I want to work at Elnac. I want to do, join you. I want to volunteer. And then they come in and I'm like, I'm fresh. And I'm mostly, oh, great, you're here. And they're like, okay, so what do I do? You don't want to waste the human resources that you've been blessed with, really. Put down structures for your operations. I cannot stress it enough. The fourth thing would be to stop doubting yourself and just go ahead and do what you're thinking about doing. I know the first three were very all about business, but this one is all about your mindset. It's better you start now, make the mistakes that you're going to make anyway, and learn from them and move from there. In the process, you gain experience, you gain networks, and that's something that I'm happy that even though I didn't have everything I needed to start, I still went ahead and started. You learn a lot and you know how things work. And if you're a softie, actually stepping out and doing that, give yourself 1 year or 2 years from now, and you actually start, you see how you grow as a person, how you can easily say no to nonsense, and how you can easily avoid mishaps. The reason I put this as the fourth point is so that you have a structure in place before you actually step out and do that. You want to avoid as many mistakes as you can, but at the same time, just do it. I don't even know how to explain this to you. I just hope that works. If currently where I am right now was the same as I was 2 years ago or a year ago, I wouldn't be happy with myself, because now I'm more outgoing. Now I'm more, I can think on my feet a lot more. I have more emotional intelligence, in the sense that when things go wrong, and things are bound to go wrong at certain points, if sometimes it's beyond your control. So when things go wrong in quotes, I am not stressed out, because I know that it's just part of life, and there will definitely be a way around it. So just do it for the experience and for the personal development. You would thank yourself later. The fifth point would be to be open about partnerships. Like I said before, my mistake was thinking I could do everything alone, but I have found joy in working with other people. In a way, partnerships also help you to breach into other people's audience, also helps you to, it takes a bit of the load off of you, because they will be doing certain things that you thought you could do alone, but they're very good at and you're probably not so good at. And you're also probably doing something for them that you are very good at, they're probably not. So it's a win-win situation. So do not look down on partnerships. Of course, make sure it's a win-win situation. I am always stressing about win-win situations. I know people who love to go all the way, win, lose, win-win, whatever it is, as long as they win. As long as they win, they're down. But I would say make sure it's a win-win situation, so both parties are happy, and you don't want to work with someone who isn't happy to work with you. That's the way I see it. Oh yeah, and the final one, the stick tip would be to delegate your tasks. Yeah. I think everything just ties in. It all seems like the same thing, but they're very different things. It's okay to delegate tasks. Let me even break it down to be very, very simple for you. So imagine that you are in charge of communicating with, a partner brand, and at the same time you are in charge of making sure your customers, your employees themselves are, up and ready and doing what they're supposed to do. Because you think, oh, you are the face of the company or you are the lead, I'm sure I won't be surprised if you think that you should be the one communicating with your partners because you want to keep a certain, standard, because you're the boss and you're talking, you know how to go about it. But you can at the same time train your employees to communicate with partners, and they do it all the time at stores you buy food from when you're ordering pickup and delivery, like Coffee Lounge or Papa's Pizza, for just to name a few. There are people who are trained to answer your calls. So it's the same way you can train your workers to communicate with your partners so that you can focus on other things. So although you feel like, oh, they'll probably mess it up, you yourself could also mess it up, So there's really nothing wrong with delegating tasks, just as long as you train the people to do it properly and you give them the right incentive for it. So yeah, I think those are the 6 things that I have come up with so far in my 1 year of officially running my business. And more, I know there are so many more. And when it comes to mind or I'm working, I realize, oh shoot, I should actually let people know about this, I will let you guys know. But in all matters of honesty, thank you for sticking with me. And I hope that these tips really help you if you are looking to embark on entrepreneurship or if you're looking to just start something. I'm only surprised if these tips don't apply only to entrepreneurship, probably other things in life. And if you think they did for you, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See, I just switched it up.